Hi Sequels friends, it is the first Friday of a new month and you know what that means? It is time to talk about what sold for June. So I am in total summertime slacker syndrome going on here, and I am forewarning that to you because it is starting to affect my sales. So thankfully towards the end of the month I am starting to get my shit together, but between it being summertime and my slacker syndrome, my sales are not what I think they could have been. But still not the worst month of the year, so that is a good thing. So I'm going to share with you how much I always share with you, my breakdown by category, my breakdowns by platform, my gross as well as my net sales, and I am going to share my BOLOs with you, all of the items that netted me more than $20 in my pocket. So if you want to know what sells for a part-time reseller, then keep on watching. Hi Sequels friends, it is so wonderful to have you back here. Welcome, welcome. It is one of my favorite things to talk about, which is what sold for the month. And today we are talking about what sold for the month of June. So if you are new here, I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Etsy, and I use this YouTube channel to document my journey. So we'll talk a lot here on reselling strategies, reselling tips and tricks, as well as wholesale unboxings, thrift hauls, and I do believe, based on your feedback from my last video, there will be some more travel to thrift segments. So if these seem like things that you are interested in, then welcome, you are in the right spot. You might as well go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to ring the bell so that you're notified every Tuesday and Friday as I upload new videos. So June sales, let's get right into it. Let's do my typical strategy, which is let's talk about the good and the bad. And then we'll go through some interesting facts about the numbers, what my goals are, and break down everything by platform category. And if you stay to the end, you will see all of my BOLO items. And hint, if you do not want to stay, I've time-stamped everything below so you can get exactly where you need to be and what you want to know. Overall, the good is I sold an item on Facebook Marketplace that netted me $150, and it was from my household. And I have just finished my what sold around the house video, and that is going to be coming up next week. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you definitely will want to, so that you are in the know of how much stuff I found around my house since the beginning of this year and what it sold for. And like I said, this item right here sold for $150, just sitting in the garage. Another really positive thing is that 25 of the items I sold in less than a month. I love a quick turnaround time. I have a teeny tiny office and I do not have a lot of space to put items. And to be honest with you, I get fairly bored with my inventory fairly quickly. So I do like to see that merchandise turn. And if 25 items sold in less than a month, then that means I am sourcing the right items. I have, even though I've been slacking on the amount of listings I've been posting, I have still maintained 500 listings in my eBay store. There's a little bit less in Poshmark, definitely not that many on Etsy or on Facebook. But eBay, I have consistently held to keeping at least 500 items in my store, and that's been for about the third month. So I could say that I hold 500 in inventory now. If you watched my video at the beginning of this year and you've been with me for some time, you know that one of my goals was to increase my inventory to at least 500 units with a stretch goal of maybe hitting 750. I've definitely maintained the 500. The stretch goal of 750 is coming with some concerns, as I'm not really sure where I'm gonna put all that shit in this office. I'm gonna have to take over more of the house, I think, if I do that. So stay tuned and we'll see what I decide to do, because I don't even freaking know yet. And then also $240 came from Facebook, and you will figure out when I tell you what my total net numbers were that ended up being 23.5% of my net numbers. I know tons of resellers are going after Facebook Marketplace. It has been pretty darn hit or miss for me, but I am trying to cross post certain items from different categories so I can kind of get a feel for what's working there. So, to the bad, let's talk about the total numbers. Overall, for the month of June, I grossed $1,646.63. Not too bad, not too shabby at all, especially for a part-timer. But my ROI took a dip, and so I actually only ended up netting, so putting in my pocket after cost of goods, platform fees, shipping, and all of that good stuff, I ended up netting $1,019.57. It does end up being a decrease of 17% to May's number, which was a decrease percent of 15 to April. Overall, I sold 60 units, which is comparable to the 65 I sold in the previous month. So that was a 7% decrease. So I'm moving more units, but making less dollars. And in the interesting facts segment, you'll figure out why that is. Many of you can probably guess because it's summertime. My ROI decreased from 63 to 62, not too bad, given the dollar decrease. But my average sales price, which I've been trying since the beginning of the year to get to $20, was at $19.50 last month, and now we're down to $16.99. That is a gut punch, but again, average sale prices tend to nosedive during the summer. And 6, because I've been tracking more within the last couple of months, my inventory, how quick it takes to turn. Of the 60 items that sold, 6 of them took over a year to sell. Yeah, I can't even believe they were still in my inventory. And then I only listed 58 items. Yeah, I usually list 100, and I've max listed for the month usually 150. So that was a serious nosedive, and I need to be very, very conscious of that because sometimes what you list doesn't affect your numbers into an upcoming month or two in the future. So I need to be very cognizant that my nosedive may continue because of that very, very bad planning that I had this month. But it is what it is. All we can do is acknowledge what the mistakes are and work on not making them in the future. Interesting facts. Overall, 33.3% of my sales ended up netting me the over $20 goal. That is a decrease from 42% to last month. None of us are surprised by that now. The numbers are decreased, so all these things are going to decrease. 6% of those items were vintage, which means 30% of the items that put $20 or more in my pocket were vintage. This is happening every month. This is a reminder to all of you guys, if you are not in the vintage market, you really need to consider getting in it. When I was talking before about why my average sale price has taken a nosedive, my ROI has taken a nosedive, well, the main reason for that is not just because I've sold less units, because I only sold 5 less units to the month prior, but it is because my markdowns are selling. Typically, every month I sell only 8 to 9% of my inventory in markdowns. If you didn't see it, I gave a whole tour of my handy dandy little spreadsheet that I use to keep track of everything. I'll link it above and link it below if you didn't get to see that and you want to learn more. But what I thought is really interesting about keeping track of all of that information is I can look every month and compare not only June to May, but also to February and to this past January. So when I look at that, I can see an average of every single month, about 8 to 9% of markdowns are what move. This month, it jumped up to 17%. And on average, it's taking me 132 days to sell an item, which is about 4 to 5 months, and that has dropped compared to last month. I moved a lot more new things. This month, I moved a lot more old things, which again, given that clearance is taken off for me, that makes sense because I typically mark down to 55% off clearance at the 9-month mark. Given that more markdowns are selling, more things that are 9 months or older are selling. So that's why that happened. So let's talk about a few goals that I need to focus on for July. My old problem is creeping back. If you've been with me for some time, you know, 1, that I'm cheap, 2, I'm a tightwad, and 3, when the sales aren't coming in, I am really afraid to spend money. It is a mental block that I seem to have such a hard time to get past, and now that the sales have been slower than they were for 2 months, I am closing down my wallet, which becomes a problem because then I do not have items to list. I'm trying to see what that mental block is, and I think it's just, if you don't have money, you shouldn't spend it. That's how I am in my regular life. That's how I am in my business. So what I'm trying to tell myself is, don't worry about the month we're in, Heather. If your items aren't selling, I still need to be listing 100 items a month to 150, as I always have. And don't worry about them not selling now. Give it until sales pick back up through holiday, and just keep thinking of it as stocking for holiday. The other thing is, if markdowns are selling, I should probably go through my inventory. I do, like I said, I typically mark down at the 9-month mark, and I think I'm fairly up to date on that because every month I usually look at my spreadsheet and see what's hitting the 9-month mark and then take markdowns on it. But to be honest with you, I bet you if I looked through my stores, specifically Poshmark and eBay, I would see that there's some things that have already been renewed that just don't have much interest. And if they don't have much interest, maybe right now the good thing to do is to go ahead and take the mark while people are buying markdowns and just let it go. Move it, get it out of my inventory while also bringing in some moolah right now, which mentally will make me feel better about spending money for the future. I have talked several times over the last What Sold videos about playing with my eBay promotions. I've heard more and more resellers kind of playing with that percentage to see what works best for them. Ever since I started playing with it, and I was at 7%, I believe through maybe about February till April, I ran a 7% promotion. But I did notice my eBay fees were getting higher, although my sales were too. And I started to get greedy and said, well, does that 7% really need to be 7%? So I had dropped it all the way to 1 at one point, and I believe by the end of last month, it had been back up to about 3.5, 4, something like that. Given my sales have nosedived, I'm just going to move it back up to 7. And to be honest with you, I may end up playing with that more in the future, but I don't think that this is the right time of year to play with that when the sales are so low. And again, if I'm still bringing in higher than normal net numbers, then maybe that's just going to be a new cost of doing business, and maybe that's something I shouldn't play with as much. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and put it back to 7, and I'm not planning on touching it, and I'll analyze it again at the new year. Okay, so I'm going to pop up right here my handy dandy sales by category chart. So if you're new, everything that's highlighted in sequel pink are the best performing categories. Also, I have the units sold, the percent to total units, the dollars sold, the percent to total dollars, and then the new category that I added a few months ago, which is sell through. That's letting me know if I'm selling through what I have sold versus what I have in stock. So dresses ended up selling through 12% of the units on 7% of the total dollars. For shoes, I ended up selling through 17% of the units on 15% of the dollars, pretty flat, but you can see that that brought in 156 of my total $1,000. And then on tops, I always have to move way more units to dollars. I have a hard time selling tops for high dollar amounts, and they're not usually something that's always netting me over 20 bucks. So I did 10% of the total dollars on 10% of the total units. So I also highlighted in gray some sell-through percentages that are fairly high. And that first one right there that's bolded above the gray, I bolded that because the sell-through percent is 100%, which I think most people are going to be like, hey Heather, how come you didn't highlight that in gray? And the reason why is I had a very abnormal listing that I put in the men's shoe category, and that is affecting that number, and you're gonna see that when I go through my BOLO items. 200% sell-through on men's jeans. Now, this is an interesting one, and that is pants, and this is women's pants. I sold through 40%, 42%, almost half my inventory. I sold through 5 pairs of pants, and I have remaining in stock 12 pairs of pants. And of course, I knew this was gonna happen because it happened last month. I sold through a high percentage of shorts. I sold through 4 pairs of shorts, and I only have 6 left in inventory. Now, sales by platform, eBay has taken a bit of a dive for me. Overall, I ended up doing $446 roughly dollars on Poshmark, or 36% of my total dollar sales, and I made about 300 on eBay. Etsy, I sold 1 item, that's only 2%, but the surprise winner this month was Facebook. And because I did have a big Facebook sale, I ended up making about 250 of my total dollars, or 20%. Let's get into a part that I know so many of you guys love, and I guess it would technically be considered BOLO items, because they are all the items that netted me at least 20 bucks, if not more. As always, I'll pop up a picture of the item here so you can see what it is, what it was, what it will be, and I'll give you a brief description, how much it sold for, and how much I ended up netting. So here we have some J. Crew dark wash button fly jeans. Sold them for $42.99 on eBay, and after platform fees and shipping. Now, I say after shipping because I have to create a label and pay money to ship it. But in that $42.99, the buyer did pay shipping, and also my shipping is usually a little bit over what the shipping prices are to account for labels, stickers, poly bags, poly mailers, and all that jazz. So it sold for $42.99 after platform fees, and after me paying the shipping on that, it came to a net total of $25.11. These are the men's shoes that I told you I put in the men's shoes category. Not that they're shoes, but these are actually snowshoes. They're Atlantis 1035 snowshoe. I do not know a damn thing about this. I lived in Florida for most of my childhood. I've skied once, and snow still seems like a magical miracle to me. So I know nothing about these, but I was out thrifting with my partner in crime, and he saw these. He knows more about this stuff. They were $25 at the thrift store. He picked them up, brought them over to me, did some comps on them, and said, I think you should do these for sequels. I said, $25? Cost of goods on something I don't know anything about? I don't know about this. So we came up with a deal, and I said, I'm gonna go for it, but if it doesn't work out, I'm blaming you for it. And it ended up working out just fine. I ended up selling these on Facebook, and I sold them for $130.80. That did include $25 in shipping. I did not know how much it would cost me to ship these. They are humongous snowshoes. But I was looking on eBay, and most people charge $25. It cost me $43 to ship them out. So I ended up netting a little bit less than I wanted to, but I ended up, after cost of goods and those crazy shipping fees, I still made $62.91. So I did go with that one. Next up, this Sand Sourcey sweater. I believe when I looked this up that this is a item that sold at Anthropologie, so I mentioned that in the listing. I got it at Goodwill. It sold for $35.99 on eBay, so that does include shipping, and I ended up netting $21.01 after all the fees. This is the first item that has sold from my Jomar Sweater Weather Viscose Girl box. It is the vintage 90s Gap men's jean jacket. I ended up selling this on Etsy, so this was my one Etsy sell. I do not charge for shipping on Etsy, but I do tend to build it into the price. So it sold for $49, and I ended up making $28.78 after the $6.14 cost of goods and the $8 shipping fee. This Calvin Klein black knit dress. Calvin Klein's so amazing to me. Some things I can't get rid of and other things go for a decent price, and I haven't been able to figure out what makes that work so that I could use it to my advantage. But this is a dress that I picked up in the bins. It sold for $29, full asking price on Poshmark, which is amazing because I send out offers to likers constantly. I am blown away when something sells for full price. It sold for $29, and after a cost of goods, I ended up making $21.78. Let's see, these you'll recognize if you watched my last travel to thrift video. I found this exact same pair of shorts in plus size. These were in a size 12. I picked these up at Goodwill. I found the other ones at Goodwill. I ended up taking an offer on Poshmark for these for $35 and netted $22.31. These are some Solutos suede ankle straps, sandals. I'm pausing because I'm trying to remember where I got these. I'm guessing a thread up box based on the $6.67 price. And I ended up taking an offer on these of $40 on Poshmark and netted $25.33. These Citizen for Humanity Hutton 251 jeans are from July of last year. Yeah. I don't know how these are not in my clearance category, and they are in my clearance category on eBay. And usually when I mark things 55% off and put them into clearance after 9 months, I actually take the item off of Poshmark and sell it just on eBay. It's easier to keep track of. You can't really mark down on Poshmark in an easy way, and I'm constantly sending out offers to likers on things, so it's just easier for me to take it off and just put it on eBay. For some reason, that didn't happen with this, and for some random reason, somebody came by and bought it at pretty much full price. So they sold for $35 and netted me $24.50, and that was a nice freebie, especially in a shitty month. These are from my Jomar vintage shoebox. If you watched that unboxing, I mentioned that this item had already sold. It is the only thing that sold from that box so far, and the first thing. They are new with tags vintage Charles Jordan pumps. They are dead stock. I had them listed for $49, sent an offer to a liker. They ended up buying them at $44, and I netted $29.87. I swear it's because these are navy. If you can find navy leather goods, pick them up. There is a following. These Steve Madden Stars, I've had these shoes since October of last year in one of two really bad thread up shoe boxes that I got. Max and the cat are in cahoots because it's 7 o'clock and I should be feeding. And so the cat is riling up Max to bark so that I'll come and feed him. I'm not going to until this video's done. So we're gonna listen to some barking during it. These Steve Madden Stars I've had for a while, had them listed for $49, took an offer on Poshmark of $34, but still netted $20.41. This Click Color Me Cotton linen skirt, everybody's been talking about how linen's moving. Linen does. I don't know, I've only sold a handful of items, but I only have a handful of items, but it does seem like linen is moving fairly well. I had this listed for $39. I took an offer on eBay of $33.66, including the shipping, and netted $26.78. This Taylor Swift Eras tee came in my last thread up DIY t-shirt box. This was the one that I was wondering if, hoping it wasn't a $500 Taylor Swift. I know nothing about Taylor Swift, and I'm happy with that knowledge of nothing when it comes to Taylor Swift. So I don't know if I could have gotten more money out of this, but it did sell same day on Facebook for $34, and I netted $27.14. Rewash wide leg pants. I've never heard of this brand. I picked them up in the bins because I thought they were cute, and they ended up selling on eBay. I took an offer for total with shipping included all in at $30.99 and ended up netting $20.98. I love this bag, and I tell you guys this all the time. As soon as I say, if that doesn't sell, I'm taking it, it sells. Like, I'm starting to say it about things I don't even care about, just to see if it'll move, because it so happens on the regular. I love this bag. It is adorable, and I kept saying, you know, I really like that bag, and if it doesn't sell, I think I'm just going to keep it for myself. And sure enough, I said that to my partner the other day, and the very next day, I get an offer on eBay pretty much asking for free shipping. So I said yes, and I sold it all in at $39.14 and ended up netting $26.26 on it. Not too shabby. These aerosol true story wedge shoes, these came from that Jomar basic bitch shoe box. I don't remember what they call it, but everything was really pretty basic and boring. But I gotta tell you, it's gonna be fun to give you guys an update on that box, because a lot of the items are moving. Don't discount the bread and butter. So these aerosol, they are the true story wedge. I had them listed for $34. Somebody on Poshmark bought them for full asking price, and I netted $22.58 after cost of goods. This Lululemon All Your Boyfriend tee came from that same ThredUp DIY t-shirt box. Yes, I got Lululemon in a DIY box. I am living for it. I have already paid for that box, and I just listed it this month. I ended up taking an offer on eBay for $34.99 and netted $24.88 after cost of goods. This is random, wild, and weird. This is the item that I sold for a shit ton of money on Facebook Marketplace. It has been on Facebook Marketplace for probably 2 full months. It is an oxygen tank. If you are like, why do you have a big ass oxygen tank? Are you welders? What do you guys do? My other half and my daytime job is he makes the glass, I market and sell the glass, and we have this oxygen tank that we are no longer using, so I put it up on eBay. It's taken forever to move on eBay. I actually had it listed at 100, and then he came and said, why don't you put it up for 150? And I'm like, whatever, dude. It ended up selling for 150, and since it was on Facebook Marketplace and a local pickup, I put $150 in my pocket. Thank goodness, or it would have been a really shitty month. These Emporio Armani men's jeans came in the most recent men's ThredUp box. I took an offer from a liker on Poshmark. I took an offer of $40 and ended up netting $35.22. That is definitely less than I had them listed for. I had them listed for $60 to $69, but this sale happened on the 25th, and I knew that my sales were slacking, so I started taking many an offer. This is a Vince Camuto dress that came in a ThredUp mixed women's mix box from earlier this year. I took an offer on this as well. I had it listed for $40, took an offer for $30, and netted $21.13. And last, and I can't believe it, I took an offer on this item. I really kind of went back and forth on whether I want to take an offer on this item. If you just saw my most recent travel to thrift item, travel to thrift video, you will recognize this item. It is the Alberta Ferretti skirt that I love so much, that is in a size small, and that had a cut in the bottom of it, and that had all over like color fading from the dye, because somebody must have washed it even though it wasn't supposed to be washed. So I had it listed for $49, which I did feel was on the high compared to the other Alberta Ferretti merchandise out there, but I haven't seen anything like this, and the print is so fabulous and bold and beautiful, and I just felt like I'm gonna try for the high. Somebody offered me $32, and I gotta tell you, they must have been waiting to see how long it would take me to respond, because I had to think about it for hours. I was like, I just listed it, it's only been on for a day, I could probably get more than that. And then I just said, you know what? My sales have not been wonderful this month. Take the offer. You're lucky anybody wants it, that it has flaws. You could end up losing your $4.19 cost on this. Just don't think about it too much and just go for it. So I did take the offer, and I ended up netting $21.41. So not sure if I could have gotten more on that, but overall, still happy with the results. So I'd love to hear from you and know how your sales are doing. I'd also love to know, what was your favorite BOLO item that sold? What do you think of the items that are moving? Are you selling things on Facebook Marketplace? Chat with me down in the comment section below. I love, love, love to talk to you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please do feel free to like if you found it helpful. Oh my God, if you made it this far to the end and you're still listening to me blab on, you might as well just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? If you can put up with me this long, then you can definitely put up with me every Tuesday and Friday when I upload new videos. So it doesn't hurt you at all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It keeps you in the know, and it also helps my channel tremendously. I really do appreciate you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful summertime weekend and a great 4th of July, and I will see you on Tuesday with a brand new video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.